Hey class, there was some confusion on the scatter plot problem, particularly in my 7th period class. I want to make this video to kind of help you along. So here's the issue. You got you're a biologist and you're studying the bat population. You're asked to predict the number of bats that will be living in an abandoned mine in 3 years. Notice we have 7 years ago, data from 7 years ago, all the way up to data from this year. So notice in this particular problem, this year is 7. To start, you find the number of bats that have been living in the mine during the past 8 years. The table below shows the results of your research. So I've already plotted all the coordinates that we have here. You'll notice they are close to linear, but they are not perfectly linear. As we go to read the information or the instructions, says A, graph the data in the table. We've done that. B, draw the straight line that you think best approximates the points. Okay. Keyword here, best, and another keyword, approximates. This is not going to be exact. We are doing our best to approximate what's going on here. So to think that we're going to know exactly how many bats there will be in 3 years, we won't, but we'll have a good idea. I'm going to draw a line of best fit. Yours might look a little bit differently than mine does. It might look a little different from mine. That's okay. I'm going to purposely choose 330 as my y-intercept here. I don't have a straight edge. I wish I did. Something like this is my line of best fit. Okay. So yours probably looks something similar to this. Ooh. There we go. Okay. So there's my line of best fit. You probably did a much better job because you're not using a computer like I am. C, write an equation for the line you drew. Okay, so I've got a couple choices. I could use slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b, or I could use point-slope form, which is y minus y1 equals the slope multiplied by x minus x1. Either way, I need the slope. I'll talk about the slope in just a minute. In slope-intercept form, I need the y-intercept. Okay, so I could look right at my graph and I say, man, that's 330 for my y-intercept. I could say b equals 330 and then go from there by finding the slope. Once I found the slope, I would be done. For point slope form, you can find the slope and then utilize one of the points. I've got, actually, wait, scratch that. We'll talk about the points in just a second. Notice that not all these points are on my graph. Some are, some are not. For example, this point right here, right there, that is not on my graph, nor is that point right there, nor is that point right there on my line, I should say. So what we want is points that my line passes through. Here's one right here. That is 1, 3, 10, 1, 3, 10. And what else do I have? There's got to be one down here. Oh, here's one. All the way down here at the bottom, I've got, right there, I've got 11, and then my y is 130. Okay? So find 2 points that your line passes through. Mr. Rivers, why don't I just use some of the points that I plotted? Because these points are not on your line. I am worried about the equation of this line. So to find the equation of this line, I need the slope of this line. So it has to be points on this line. Same thing goes for the y-intercept. Y is this point right here, which is 0, 327. Why is 327 not my y-intercept as worked here? It's because my particular line, the way I drew it, it does not pass through 327 right there. So, sorry, my OneNote is not zooming the way I would like it to. So we want the y-intercept of this line. We want the slope of this line. So I have to use points on this line, and I have to use the y-intercept of this line. This point is not on the line. So let's go and use the slope formula and find the slope here. So my slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1, which I'll use 130. 130 minus 310 over x2, which is 11, right? The 130 and 11 correspond. 130 went first, 11 has to go first, minus 1. Okay, let's carry out some subtraction here. That's going to be in the numerator there, m equals, I believe that is negative 180. Negative 180 over 11 minus 1 is 10. Negative 180 divided by 10, that is negative 18. So I've got a negative slope, as you would expect, because this line is going down, down, down. It's a negative slope. So let's go down here. I'll use slope-intercept form first, and then just for fun, I'll use an example of point-slope form. So here we go. This is going to be y equals, my slope, which I just found was negative 18, x plus b. What did I say my b was? It is 330. You'll see that right there. So that is plus 330. Now, for point-slope form, y minus y1, I've got to use a point on this line. Here's a point on the line, 11, 130. I'll use that point. Please don't use a point that is not on the line. For example, that point right there. Don't use that point. It's not on the line. This point right here is not on the line. Use a point that is on the line. So 11, 330, that is a point that is on the line. So y minus 130 equals my slope, which I just found was negative 18, multiplied by x minus x1. The x coordinate of that point is 11, so x minus 11. There you go. There is the equation of that line in point-slope form. I used a point that is on the line, 11, 130. I used the slope of the line. I found that slope using 2 points that are on the line. And there is my equation in slope-intercept form. All right. Thanks for watching. Good luck with tonight's homework.